Beautiful people, welcome to True Life Stories TV from Susan in Family Entertainment TV. How are you all doing? Hope you are doing great. As for me and my daughter, we are doing super great. By His grace, amen. And we wish the same to everyone that wished her good. And your kids so beautiful. Welcome to another True Life Stories, Lessons of Life, facts of lives and realities of life stories from our new channel True Life Stories TV. So today, like few days ago, I think a day ago, yesterday, I saw a video of a Kenyan man who has a YouTube channel. So he interviewed a white man. So a white man said that told him in this channel that a Kenyan woman that he was married to a Kenyan woman for 1 year, but in 1 year of their marriage, that his Kenyan wife fraud him and stole and took from him 83 million Kenyan money. So that was why this YouTuber in Kenya brought this white man so that he can explain himself of his true life story, how he left UK and went to Kenya, and how he got married to the Kenyan woman, and how the Kenyan woman fraud him of his 83 million. So I'm going to play like a clip. So it's like an hour and 30 minutes, so we're not going to play everything because I want it like 14 minutes maximum in each video so that it's not too long. When it's too long, it's like boring, so I will just be cutting it. I watched everything to the ending, but I would love to like cut it to the side that's most like important more for us to listen to. So let's just play the clip. So this is the white man talking.
But Martin, you stay there and arrange for the next, so this doesn't happen again. Part of your contract, arrange for the next journey for the next bunch of 30 kids or more, so that there is something for them to do the next time. So she then stuck, and then it was coming close to Christmas. She'd been there a month or so, so she was getting homesick, and she was, you know, one of her daughters was getting a bit she's a bit highly strung, with psychological problems, and the youngest of her two daughters, and so she was getting kind of agitated and worried. And then she said to me, look, I don't have a return flight, which I find that kind of odd. Like, why wouldn't they give you a return flight? Or they had it, but they weren't giving it to her. And she said, can I get, do you have anything? Now, it just happened. It was just totally by chance that part of the money that I was about to inherit, I'm still living off my being a landlord and my own income, my own personal savings. That's dwindling by the day. And I said, look, some money is just coming from my estate, my mother's estate. And so I have enough money to be able to send you enough to get you out of there. Mm-hmm. So she said, I said, what will cover it? Now, what's the rough, get me the specific, but just what you think. And she said, about $1,000. So I said, okay, that's an expensive flight. Okay, right. So I said, I have that. Okay, I can forward that on to you. So I said, I want receipts, show me the tickets, etc. Yeah, we'll deal with that later. Look, I'm coming over in February, so we'll do all that then. So look, you just get out of there. They hadn't taken her passport, so I sent her the money through Western Union. No, it was through a bank account. It was through a bank. The first amount of money, so $1,000 I sent, and she got the ticket, the one-way flight, Qatar to Nairobi, and then the hop on from Nairobi down to Malindi, and she got back for time for Christmas, and everything's fine. And then I said, look, we'll deal with that. Don't worry about it. You're back home. You're safe. You're out of that. You've lost your job there.
First money is sent to her.
Look, it's not
she said what she used the money for. Didn't work out. So the white man said, okay, no problem. What is important? You got to back to your village safely. There's no problem. I come to Kenya and give you
anyway, so February then approached and came up to it, and then I can't remember the exact date, about the 4th of February, in around 3rd, 4th February, I came over.
So you were coming for
2 weeks.
For 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
It is within Valentine's.
Within Valentine's, yes. Within Valentine's.
Yes.
And so, which I almost completely forgot about. But anyway, so I came over and I sent her money in advance, another bunch of money. And I sent her money. So look, I said, look, she's getting stressed out. She had no income. She borrowed from her eldest daughter, works as a chef, as a junior chef in one of the guest house hotels in Savo East National Park. And so she sends her mother money whenever she keeps her afloat, and her sister. And so I said, look, I'll come you over we'll arrange something. And I sent her some money. She then told me one thing.
She was wanting from him for 1 year was only money.
She said that she'd been to the dentist in Malindi. And so the dentist was offering a special one-off deal that you could get braces for X amount. and the whole contract for teeth braces, for getting your teeth fixed, and every consultation, any follow up, all the rest of it, at a certain price. And she told me this and said, would you think about that? And I said, wow. And I looked at the price and I went, that's absolutely peanuts. And I said, that's peanuts. I said, yeah,
Another
definitely.
money again.
Because
Said
Martha
the
had a
money
little
is
gap between
peanuts.
her teeth.
You might
And she
continue.
always said, I'd
That's
always
peanut.
wanted to get rid of it. I wasn't particularly mad and fan. At this stage, the sort of thing you'd never say to your unofficially girlfriend, stroke fiance. You never say, I never like that gap in her teeth. You wouldn't say that. But anyway, I said, yeah. I said, yeah. So I said, right, yeah, get it. That's nothing. I mean, we're talking about like less than a fifth of what it would cost in Ireland. So, and this is like the whole treatment. She said, yeah, the whole, from like beginning to end. I said, definitely. I said, I'll send you the money.
I will send you
Go
the
in,
money
and she
for
said,
the
it's
road
good.
trip. She said she wants to
go
go
into
for
the dentist
something
and
like
say,
teeth or mouth.
I'll definitely get that.
Okay,
And,
I'll
you'll have
definitely
money
send you all the
in
money.
48 hours. Don't worry about
All the
it.
confidence in
In
the world.
48 hours,
do
I'll
it.
send you all the money. Just
Get your
do it.
name down, and so like, and he'll get the money, and no
Get the
worries,
money.
and whatever.
That was
So
just
she
what
did
she was
that, and
after.
whatever. So I said, look, there you
It's
go,
money,
the Christmas
money,
cake
money,
late
money.
for you, but there it is.
No relationship. Not
And
talking
so
of
anyway, I
nothing.
arrived, and I'd send her a bit more money, another maybe $1,000. And I said, look, you go out and book. Like, don't. I realized that Martha was a bit of a penny pincher, and I said, like, look, I'm not a spendthrift, but don't like go and get the cheapest accommodation possible. Like, I don't, but also don't go and get 5-star hotels. But get somewhere that's, look, I want an ensuite bathroom. I want clean sheets, and clean, and it has,
Something
decent.
Yes.
And I don't want to be slumming it. I've never been. This is a really. People spend all their life saving for trips like this. So I'm coming over here to possibly spend the rest of my life. So I want this to be a good impression. So I said, look, Martha, go around and do a mixed bag of places to stay. So stay a bit of high end and a bit, so go from 3-star, nothing below 3-star to 5-star. So that's your kind of, and then don't go crazy on price, and I'll leave it to your own judgment. So then I came over the 2 weeks, and it went really, really well. We stayed in Malindi for a couple of nights in a very nice place. And then we came to Watamba. Now, in this time...
Okay, let's forward it. Because I don't want it to be more than 40 minutes. So long, very, very, the story is very long. I really think for him, we are going to react to this video in our next video. If you want to know our reaction, so you're following my channel, you know I'm a straightforward mom. I don't like to deceive people. So if you want to know my reaction to this man who was fooled, he was fraud, all his Kenyan wife took his 83 Kenyan money, 83 million Kenyan money for him in just 1 year of their marriage. So try watch the next video. I'm going to be reacting to this man through my story. It is Kenya. So there
I
was
commissioned that
already
from a workshop up the road. And the other thing is I bought some animals, some metal animals, because I wanted to have the whole menage of the wildlife of Kenya in the garden for when we had a baby. Growing up, the kid would see, that's an elephant, that's a lion, that's a tiger. And one of the things I got was this absolutely fantastic steel elephant, about this big, that was coated, that was completely coated in ceramic. But roughly speaking, we did sort of gigantic horseshoe. So we went from here to we went back in ourselves. We went into Savo first. I said, we can't be so close to a national park and not go into Savo. It's the nearest one, so we're going into Savo, and we can kill 2 birds with one stone. Mary works in Savo. We can stay or even start to learn Swahili of August. She physically, with the daughters, moved out of the house. They were gone. I said, get out. I said, I need time to do this. I had known, she had physically isolated me, so I knew, she had never introduced me to anybody. I didn't know any of her friends.
The wife, Kenyan woman married for 1 year, never introduced it to anybody.
Did I finally meet her reverend, who was in 100% is in on this with her daughters, with the bank manager, with a few other individuals. They were the first one. Then other people have been bribed along the way, but they're the coterie that are on the inner circle. Her daughters, and then from there it goes out. It goes to a bank manager, obviously, and a couple of other people within the bank, and then it goes to this psychologist, her allegedly ex-best friend, this Caroline person, and it spirals out then to the lesser, but it's still major people who are just stealing my money because she's bribing all these people. paying fundies for work on a house that was built from scratch, a 4-bedroom, 325 square meter house that I have video footage in disbelief that she built it from scratch. And I wasn't, as if I was dead. She was building it as if everything was done and I had left the country, as if like. I mean, you can't
Kenyan
she's built a house from scratch with my
as
money.
if he was not
Up
even
the road,
there
up
in
just in
Kenya
Kenya.
with her, and he was just
And
right in
it's
Kenya
complete.
under
It's a
his
state
roof,
of the
under
art.
his
It's even
nose,
better than
as the
Kenya.
Kenyan woman
I have a video
took
of it
his
being built.
83 million
And it's there, it's built, it's
Kenyan
finished.
money
I can
from
show
him.
it to you.
You can't even
And
explain.
it's even better than this house. She wouldn't have spared any expense on it. The guy in the video that I have, when I went up to look at the value, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't actually
could believe it.
He told me how much he was getting to, let's say, 2 stages, from foundations to the shell of the house, and then from the shell of the house would be putting the slab on the roof, finishing off the second, what we call in Ireland, the second phase, which is all the electrical and plumbing, and then painting the place. The house I went up about 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, is completely finished. I mean, it's turnkey condition. One of the first pieces of furniture, 2 first pieces of furniture she got, she stole off me, was I commissioned a chaise longue. It's a couch without an armrest in the middle that you lie down on and put at the end of the bed.
No affection, no true love.
I commissioned that from a workshop up the road. And the other thing is I bought some animals, some metal animals, because I wanted to have the whole menage of the wildlife of Kenya in the garden for when we had a baby growing up. The kid would see that's an elephant, that's it. Automatically then, before I had another court case, when I've had 2 sisters who lived on the outskirts of Nairobi, and I said, please, I don't understand what's going on. Okay, my drinking was a problem, but it wasn't a problem. It was just like I'm remembering where I was brought and the lies that I was told where I was brought. So it's kind of seared in my memory. I can drive to any of these places tomorrow morning, and I can say that is the house. I guarantee you, to that house there's going to be X amount of people there. Don't ask me the names. I'm really terrible with names. There's only I'm just not good.
You're living here alone.
Yeah.
What is the future plan? What plan do you have?
The names have changed, but the game remains the same. I'm planning on doing what I'm doing. She's not in the equation. Well, she's in the equation until I get rid of that equation.
About his plan to the
I'm
public
going to do what I set out to do. I've identified various business opportunities here, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to retain this house for the foreseeable future. Get it back legally, as is my legal right, and I win that hands down. My vehicles, and I'm going to progress as I intended, and do the business, and then, because I need to do.
Het is Live Happy Sale bij TUI. Boek nu met korting tot wel 50% per persoon. TUI.
We horen je denken. Je had hier nooit aan moeten beginnen.
You are overselling the country to the tourists. Kenyan women?
No, I'm a hopeless romantic. No. Yeah, I can be stubborn as a mule. I get certain traits off my mother in that. Stubborn as a mule in certain respects. But no, I haven't. No, I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound. The expression. So it's kind of like I've planted my flag in Kenya, and so it's we'll wait and see. Watch this space. Who knows what happens?
But you'll be wiser.
Certainly wiser and certainly more wary. But one of the facilities in the place.
Did you see? First of all, I see you have our signature.
Yeah.
Wristband. It's a shame that I don't have mine. Did you get Kenyan citizenship?
No, I've applied. I will be applying for that. I'm getting slowly hurdled.
So beautiful. Thanks for watching. See me in another good channel. In our next video, big content. So we are going to be reacting to this video. In our reaction to this video, the next video, I'm going to show the place where he told the man how much he spent on this Kenyan wife that left him, that took his money under a year marriage, and it took him 83 million Kenyan money. So we are going to watch that before we are going to react to our video in our next video. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and please share.